Time is 9:47. Happy Monday. The Sergio Show broadcasting from Jay Gonzalez, Injury Attorneys, HQ in Edinburgh. Jesse's with me right now. Let me get some business out of the way real quick. So if I don't do this now, I'm going to forget. So someone told me that you posted a picture with your former boss, Dr. Zamora, La Jolla ISD. Helped him with a case, right?
Yeah.
Tell me a bit more about that moment, how that went. What was all that about?
Well, Dr. Zamora, I credit with furthering my education, because when I was a teacher at La Jolla ISD, when you're teaching at the high school level, and I taught seniors, they bring in a lot of guest speakers, and actually he spoke at one graduation. And so as a young teacher, I started when I was 21, and I was there till I was 27. So as a young teacher in his early 20s, you're still very much influenced by, the things that you're exposed to educationally. And so being a teacher at La Jolla for 7 years had a very, very big impact on me, furthering my education, inspiring me to do more, getting my master's in educational administration, and then deciding to go to law school. And so he was very instrumental along those lines. And so 20 some years later, for him to come into my office, hire me as a lawyer, and we had the outcome was outstanding. It was a great outcome. It just made me feel good to be able to give back to someone who had done so much for me educationally and professionally. So, he came to my office. We were actually sitting here in this desk, had some coffee, and he had some great, great stories of him growing up and the things that he went through, back in the day, because obviously the world that he lived in versus the world that I've lived in was very different. And, one of the stories that he talked about was that Hispanics were not able to use a public pool back in the day in West Texas. And so they were able to use it just on Saturdays. And then African Americans used it on Sundays. And then after Sunday, they would drain the pool for the white people Monday through Friday.
We're not that far removed from those years.
Okay, well,
that is amazing.
Well, I never saw that growing up, Serge.
But he did as a youth.
But that's what I'm saying. So he was relating stories like that, and it's just impressive that someone growing up in that era, being Hispanic, and doing the things that he accomplished, being a superintendent. And there was also another story where he was, as a principal, he was part of the administration that was providing security at a basketball game. You know how sometimes you have administrators out there, patrolling the area?
Yeah.
And he was one of them. But he wasn't allowed to be on the grounds because he was Hispanic. And he said, wait a minute, I'm the principal of this school. Like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
And it wasn't that school per se. I think they were traveling to another campus and they didn't know who he was. They just knew that he was Hispanic. Yeah. And so he was not allowed entry until he told them who he was, and they made an exception. But you know, growing up in an era like that and being able to overcome, that says a lot about that person. And so I've always had high admiration for him, and the fact that that he trusted me with his case, and we were able to deliver incredible results. It just makes me feel so happy for him, but makes me feel happy that I was able to deliver.
Yeah, to have a mentor slash like father figure, I'm sure that was very, very special. So are we going to get to see Dr. Zamora on the next commercial for Jay Gonzalez?
Well, we took a picture together, but no, he's a little camera shy, and he made an exception for me. But yeah, no, I highly doubt that.
Watermelon Festival that's around the corner. I understand that you're helping with that as well in Alamo, Texas. So are you going to go out there and participate on the seed spitting competition? I think it's on the 9th, on Saturday the 9th.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, Jay Gonzalez is participating.
Wow.
Well, you're gonna send your crew out there.
Well, you know, we sponsor a lot of local events. I mean, that's kind of our way of staying connected to the community, and so we look forward to sponsoring that festival along with a bunch of others that we've already sponsored this year. But you know, you see a lot of lawyers do billboards, you see them do TV, radio, but for me, the biggest part of what we do is the public relations that we are very much involved with when it comes to community events. I think that's a big reason for us to stay connected, meet and greet people from the community that we obviously are entrusted with when they hire us on their case. And so I'm always happy to be able to be a part of that. And being a part of those festivals and events also means that we're giving back to those different communities. And by different communities, I mean the valleys, Brownsville, Harlingen, South Padre Island, San Benito, Rio Grande City, McAllen, Westlaco, Harlingen. I mean, it's a big, big community, different cities across the Rio Grande River. But to be able to be a part of different events from different cities is very important to me, especially since we have locations across the valley.
Yeah, I don't want to emphasize too much of the food stuff. I know you're nursing a tummy issue right now, so I'm not going to ask you about watermelon eating competition or make any references to like roast beef or rotisserie chicken or menudo with extra onions, anything like that. No food stuff. We're celebrating orange juice today, but I'm not going to mention that. You ever tried the Mexican candy that they boil, like they take camote, that the sweet potato, and they will boil it in sugar and have this like crystallized fruta cristalizada, like camote and pineapple and.
I can't say that I have.
Orange. You never tried that, really?
No.
This probably explains why you don't have diabetes and everybody else does.
Wow.
Very popular Mexican candy, but I won't reference any of that food stuff because I know you're nursing a tummy ache right now. You want to say anything about the last trip you took? I know you took a special trip.
I'd never been to Aguascalientes, and so it was one of those cities in my bucket list that I wanted to check off. And we happened to go when the feria was going on. And the feria
Did you go to that?
in Aguascalientes is the biggest feria in all of Mexico, which is shocking. You would think it'd be Mexico City or a bigger city like Guadalajara, maybe even Monterrey, but no, it's in Aguascalientes. And they had some pretty big, bands. They still do bullfights. But it was interesting. It was fun.
That's where you sent me like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like almost 10 videos of the bands that were playing.
That's where
you were at
Play it, Serge. I know you love that music. That's why I sent it to you.
No, I didn't listen. When I realized it was banda crap, I didn't open the rest. But I appreciate you thinking of me in the middle. At 2:00 in the morning, by the way. I appreciate you waking me up at 1 hour before I actually wake up. There was Jesse sending banda crap at 2:00 in the morning. Ding, 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 ding. I almost put the snooze thing on, but I didn't turn it on. You wanted me to ask you about something. Let me see if I got it. Unless you send it to me and Freddie at the same time. What is the worst thing that could happen when you order Mexican food to go? Here we go, another
The worst thing that could happen.
food question. It was tortillas. That was you said.
That's right.
Ask me about that. You said.
Yeah, can you imagine ordering Mexican food
Uh-huh.
and then you get home and there's no tortillas?
That should be a crime.
By default,
Yeah.
there should always be tortillas.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree.
when they get the tortillas wrong, you wanted flour, they give you corn. You wanted corn, they give you flour. You can still say, okay, honest mistake,
Yeah.
or you know what happens. But to get no tortillas,
Yeah, that's wrong.
how?
It's
Crazy.
And let me get off the food stuff real quick. I just want to mention this. I love the Mexican food places, Mexican restaurants that actually make their corn tortillas. Not just go buy them at HE, but and las calientan and they give it to you, right? But actually they you can smell the masa is wonderful. I love those. Okay, Barratry. Let's talk about serious stuff. Barratry. Talk to me on what's going on in the community, how you're helping to fight it, all those things.
So Channel 4 just did a very good piece on a case that's come down here recently where a lawyer hired a runner. That runner went to a funeral home and they were offering food, offering this, offering that, just basically trying to ingratiate themselves with this grieving family in order to secure a contract, getting hired. And this runner who was trying to push a certain lawyer who was driving a vehicle that was registered to that lawyer just got sued by the lawyer who actually got hired by the family. And nowadays, a lot of people don't understand this or realize this, but if you're able to prove that you were called and it was an unsolicited call or visited, and it was an unsolicited visit, and you're able to prove that that individual approached you first, that case is worth more money than 85% of the personal injury cases that happen in Texas. And by 85%, I mean, Serge, most of these cases are 30, 60 cases, meaning the law requires that in order to drive legal, you've got to have liability insurance. Texas only requires and mandates that you have a $30,000 liability insurance policy in case it's your fault and you cause an accident. It'll cover the victim up to 30, but up to 30 minus attorney fees, minus medical bills. And so it's not out of the ordinary for the victim to walk away with $5,000, $10,000 of that $30,000 amount. But these Barratry cases are worth $50,000, free and clear, because the way the statute is written, it also basically gives that victim attorney fees. So it's not $50,000 minus attorney fees, it's $50,000 plus attorney fees. And it's per person that approaches you. So if 3 different individuals approach you, those 3 individuals can be sued. And so now it's a $150,000 case plus attorney fees. And so the important thing about that, Serge, is that the personal injury case is the one that you already have, and you're going to get paid for that. But if you can, get screenshots of text messages, if you have video, recordings, take pictures of the car they showed up in, their license plates, business cards, take a picture of the contract, whatever. I mean, it's all about evidence, right? You've got to have evidence to prove that you were approached, that they were soliciting, that they were basically wanting you to hire them. So remember, a PI case, more often than not, if it's not an 18-wheeler case, is roughly worth $30,000 minus all those things. But this one's worth $50,000. So this is more profitable for you as an accident victim than your actual accident case. So when that happens, take all the information that you can take to prove that you were illegally solicited, and then we were able to help you with both.
Phone records. You can prove that these were incoming calls. Messages left. Emails.
Text messages. And then a favorite thing for these criminals to do is they'll point you to a website. And the website is, the Foundation for Accident Victim Help. They make it sound really official. They make it sound like it's legitimate. There's nothing legitimate about approaching you about an accident. It's a crime. And so I don't care if they have a website or not. A website that they point you to is just a cover for their illegal activity.
Well, ambulance chasing is wrong. I don't know, just crazy opinion here. Maybe you should start like a barratry chasing unit. Say, hey, make sure you get the license number. Well, make sure to get the phone number. Save all the information.
There's lawyers now, that are basically they're promoting helping people with that. They're starting to advertise for those particular cases.
There you go. All right, Jesse. Hope you feel better, pal. Oh, I'll ask you about Juan Valdez coffee next time I'm here. Make sure that you
I always said that Colombia coffee is terrible.
Yeah.
If you want a cappuccino or if you want a latte, terrible. But if you have it from Juan Valdez, the brand, there's a brand called Juan Valdez. That is the exception.
It's like a franchise or something?
Yeah, it's like a franchise. It's like Starbucks. Yeah. Juan Valdez is a franchise in Colombia.
There you go.
They do coffee right in terms of espresso and all that.
Have a great week, pal. Thanks for having us over. Time is 10:02. This is KURV Edinburgh. We'll go back to regular programming. The Sergio Show on News Talk 710 KURV. Thank you to Chamberlain Roofing and Waterproofing, ChamberlainLTD.com. Big thanks as well to South Texas Buick GMC and Lone Star National Bank.
History's unfolding, and you're listening to it on News Talk 710 KURV, Edinburgh, McAllen, Harlingen, Brownsville.